One of the most inspirational goals that I hear on this podcast, on my YouTube channel, in the DMs, in the Rhino Tribe mentorship group, is to retire a family member from their job. This conversation today with Tracy out of Maryland is one of those incredible stories. So get ready. She's closing deals. She's got huge goals, and I think is an inspiration to everybody. Check this out. I'd like to welcome to the podcast Tracy Garrett Numa. How are you?
I'm doing great, Brent. How you doing?
I am excited. Listen, anytime I have the opportunity to have a conversation with somebody that was in the Navy, NSA, working for the government for a long time, protecting us for so long, and then making that transition into real estate. It is so exciting to me because I'll tell you what, there is a very strong correlation between, and it has something, maybe it's the Navy specifically, but I have so many investors that start out and their advice from their superiors in the Navy is wherever you go, buy real estate, or at least get into real estate investing while you are enlisted. Is this advice that you were given, or is this just something that you found on your own?
Actually, I learned that early on before I joined. Well, I'm sorry, I learned before I joined. Real quick, my aunt used to always tell me that she saw something in me. Right, I come from humble means, country town, and I always wanted something better for my family. And my aunt always told me she was like, "That girl's gonna be rich." That was a word she used, right? And so I'm wondering, how is that what's gonna make things better for me? Can I, change the trajectory of my family? So when I joined the military, one night I was woken up by infomercial with David Allen and I'm sorry, Robert Allen. You know Robert Allen, right?
I do. I know him
Yes.
personally, yeah. Hmm.
Okay, cool. So he was talking about buy real estate with no money down and how you can build wealth and you build wealth through real estate. I went to his conference and I was hooked after that. I was like, "Oh, this is how I'm going to get rich. And really this is how I'm going to build wealth. This is how I'm going to change my family's life." Right? And later on I realized, okay, my purpose really is to impact a large number of people. How can I do that? Right? And then that's when I got into development. And it started when I went to New Orleans after Katrina, and we were rehabbing houses and changing the neighborhood. Being a part of that was just awesome, and seeing people being able to move into a house, excuse me, that was better than where they came from or what happened with their house, the devastation. I'm sorry, I get emotional when I talk about it, but it was just a great feeling. And I was like, I want to do this for more communities. So as a developer, I want to go into communities and the communities that have fallen, that are dilapidated. Nobody's putting any money into them anymore. I want to be able to redevelop those communities and not just build the houses, but give them the financial literacy that they need to build it themselves, to hold on to it so it doesn't go back to that condition again. So that's like the ultimate goal. And these things that I'm doing, I see, will get me there. The buy and the hold, putting money into bigger assets, or the wholesaling to build more cash to put into bigger assets, and then eventually get back to the development side to impact more people.
I love it. And you're right, Tracy. It's really interesting when an investor takes the risk to invest in some of these neighborhoods where, it's been years since anybody's given it a shot.
Yeah.
It takes that one investor. And then what I see commonly, because we sell a lot of these properties to these investors that are going into some of these lower income neighborhoods, and you see them, they get a good project, they do pretty well with it, and then they want more in that area, and then they want more in that area, and then all of a sudden other people start seeing the turnaround, and then it's a flood of investment that comes. But it takes that one person to take
Yeah.
the risk, and hopefully they're taking the risk in the right markets, right? They're taking a risk where the economy is humming and where there's some opportunities that are entering into those areas, whether it be jobs, whether it be
Yeah.
warehouses, whether it be some sort of economics, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it starts flourishing again, and you get to see these neighborhoods come back, which is just
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so I love what you're doing there. So you're you were with the Navy, with NSA, doing real estate on the side. Like,
Yeah.
how does this
Yeah. I
fit
was.
into your life, Tracy? How do you
Yeah.
balance all this?
It was rough. It was on the side. The goal was always to have that replace my income, and as a cybersecurity engineer, I had a nice income, no complaints about that. But it was doable. I knew it was doable. Um, and it was tough doing that because where I worked, I couldn't have my phone in my office. I couldn't be on the internet. So it was tough. I'd take breaks, go after work, get trying to get things done, go into my car on the phone. So it was really tough. So much so that every year, I set my goals for the next year, right? And I wasn't meeting them, and I felt like this my job is really keeping me from meeting these goals. And I said, you know what? I need to make a decision. And I made a decision about a year and a half ago to leave and do it full time. And I said, this will allow me to meet my goals. Um, I haven't got to where I want to be yet as far as replacing that, but I know I'm going to get there. I do have a plan. So, so that's what happened. Yeah, it was really tough. I was able to do more work, get some things while I was there, but I was able to do more when I left, and I was able to learn more. I've had more mentorship since then. So,
So Tracy, what are these goals? I mean, you've got a great high-paying job. You've got security in that. I mean, it just a I need to make more income on a yearly basis to be able to hit these goals of developing and helping these areas that really nobody else is helping out? Was it just
so
an income goal?
yeah, so while I was working, the goal was to replace or to be able to handle all my expenses in my real estate, the
Mm-hmm.
rental income, right? Um, But you know what happens when you have rental properties? You have the single family homes, duplexes, and it's not really passive. People say passive. It's not really passive until you invest into the bigger things, where things are handled on a more professional level and you're not losing money here and there and you're not being pulled in. All of that was going on. But my thought process at that time was, okay, I need X amount of properties bringing in, X amount of dollars a month to replace, what I'm paying out right now in order for me to
Mm-hmm.
leave my job. And I wasn't reaching that. Um, and myself and my spouse had a conversation about it, and we decided that I could leave, and if I left, I should be able to reach those goals. Um, and of course, when I left, like I said, I started going to different, more mentorships and conferences and stuff like that. And that's when I was learning how to buy businesses. Um, you know, really opening my eyes up to wholesaling because I never really considered wholesaling.
Sure.
Just listening to you and other people about it, I said, well, people have systems and processes in place, and it becomes a predictable business. And again, I can use that to put into a business. I can use it to put into a multifamily, 100 units or more, which would give me way more cash flow. So
Yeah,
that
you
was,
hit it right on the head, Tracy. I mean, when you have, it's like Monopoly, right? When you have the little green houses, you're taking care of those houses. There's nothing passive about those houses, right? You're the property management for most of that. You're building that up. And I mean, that's the same story that Robert and Kim Kiyosaki talk about when they were starting out. And then you get to the point where you can sell those properties and get the red hotel, right? Or you keep those properties and you build up so much equity, you could pull some equity out of those
mhm,
properties and go and buy the red hotel. And it's when you have that red hotel, when you have that multifamily, like you were saying, 100 units plus, then you start getting that mailbox money. You start getting that
yeah,
subscription money. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
Which is absolutely phenomenal. But there is steps. It's not like you're just gonna buy a house, live in it, and then you go and buy the next house. You rent out the house that you lived in before, and then all of a sudden you're like hands off. That's not realistic. That
right,
doesn't happen. And so it takes some time to be able to build that momentum. That's why I love wholesaling. I love the active income that you get from being able to flip properties, or
Yeah.
really flip the purchase agreement or the
Hmm.
contract
Right.
on properties without having to buy it, without having to take the risk, without having to slow down your process of fixing up the property and then selling the property. You can be in and out of a wholesale deal typically in 30 to 45 days, which you just did. We're going to talk
Yeah.
about that in a second, but you were in and out in 45 days after a week of turning on your leads, which is really, really, really exciting. But people need to understand, in real estate investing, you buy and hold. There's only three exit strategies truly.
Hmm.
Buy and hold. That's what Robert Allen was talking about with buying properties, no money down. You
Yeah.
can buy and flip. This is like every HGTV show we've ever seen since, for the last 20 years. And then there is the ability to assign your interest in a purchase agreement, where essentially you put a purchase agreement together with the property owner and yourself, and a investor replaces you, pays you to replace you in that purchase agreement because they want to buy that property and they're willing to pay you a fee to be able to do that. And I know that you know all this stuff, Tracy, but I like laying it out to everybody
Yeah.
that's listening, because a lot of people just don't understand what wholesaling is and what
Right.
the different exit strategies are. But using it, it is our ATM machine. This
Yeah.
is our funding partner that allows us to go out and buy those red hotels or the businesses like you were talking about, Tracy.
Yes.
Before we pressed record on this podcast, you were talking about you're looking to get buy into businesses, you're looking to buy into multifamily, you're
Yes.
using this strategy of wholesaling real estate as your big nest egg to be able to do that. So
Yes.
talk to us about your plans there.
Oh, with the okay, yeah, using the quick money from wholesaling, the active cash.
Yep.
I want to put that into buying a business. I have a separate partner who is because we went through the mentorship, who is now using those tools and everything that we learned to search for a business. So we're actually going to be putting the LOI on this business in January. So so what I want to do, like, so that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing with this wholesaling money, the quick cash to put into buying businesses.
Love it. What kind of businesses do you like?
Med spas, the
Med
luxury,
spas. Yeah,
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah, luxury high end, and we're talking about cash flowing businesses where we're not the owner is not working in the business. So I want to be on the right side of the cash flow quadrant.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, that's the big difference, right? When you're looking at the cash flow quadrant, you got employee and self-employed on the left-hand side. You got business owner, investor on the right-hand side. The left-hand side, you have to trade time for money. The right-hand side, you don't. That's the whole point.
Yes.
That's why it's so exciting to be able to build the skills on the left-hand side to be able to go into the right-hand side and buy it. Because really the specialized skill that you're building is finding, discovering these properties that you can buy at a discount, because people will trade price for speed and convenience. They just want to get rid of these properties for whatever reason. You build that skill, then you can actually go and invest in other businesses that will be truly passive, where you can
Yes.
be a business owner. That's the goal.
Yes, exactly. That's the goal. My understanding is that, real estate and businesses is what, the wealthy is doing. That's how I need to that's what I need to do to build generational wealth. And also impact more people.
Yes. Well, I want to unpack that a little bit, but first, weren't you scared? I mean, you're in this job for so long, right? Your
Yeah.
daily routine, your life, the times that you have off, the times that you get vacation, the people, like the relation, all of these things have you've been building. You were doing this for 20 plus years,
Yeah.
and then you just decide, you know what, it's time. What were the Let people know what emotions to expect when they make that kind of leap.
So, I was scared. I was nervous. I put a lot of thought into it. And, I always think that things happen for a reason. I have a lot of I have the education, the time in, the certification. So I'm very, um, what is the word? It's easy for me to get a job, um,
Yes.
and it's hard to find cybersecurity engineers with the time in and experience that I have. But it came a time where, during the same time I'm thinking about leaving and frustrated that I'm not reaching my goals, I was told that there wasn't contract was going to end, which they do all the time. I get picked up. I just like a bump in the road. And this particular time, it was like we don't have anything. We're still looking, but we don't have anything. And I'm like, what? I have never been told that before. So it just made me think, okay, is this really the time that I should make this move? Um, things were just kind of lining up. We had the conversation at home about it, and it just made sense. It was like, okay, this is how much money we're bringing in with the rental properties. If they all stay rented out, that's really good. We still need to, we're here, we still need to get here. Um, and we can do this on one salary. Prayed about it. Like I said, I prayed about it. Those things happened that made me feel like, okay, that's another sign for me. And when I left, I was just really kind of relieved. I was just kind of relieved that I could really work on my goals. I could really work on the real estate business and really get out there and discover what else I needed to do to make things better. What other processes or systems I need to put in place, or what strategic partnerships I need to make, you know, to make this happen. Who do I need to talk to? I wasn't able to do that. Surrounding myself around the right people. So,
I love it. I love it. And so, have you always wanted to make a big impact? Like, where does that come from? Why is that important?
so, initially it was I want to I want better for my life and my family than what I grew up with. And I want more for my mom. My mom worked all her life. She still works. She's in her 70s and still works almost three jobs. And I always wanted to retire her and give back to her. And then as years went on, when Katrina happened and we were there building and changing people's lives there, I said, this is what I need to do. I need to make an impact. That's what I'm here for, to make an impact on more people, massive number of people. And I can do that by going in and developing neighborhoods, neighborhoods that need this kind of work, redevelopment, you know, and adding the financial literacy piece to it so that they can hold on to their what they have, so they can pass it on. So yeah, it came about, years later, um, when I was there in that moment, and just having the feeling of uh, gratitude and from people, because now they lost their house and it was damaged, and they probably was renting. They lost the house, and Katrina, they had to move away. They came back, or they were living with somebody, and now they have this nice house they can move into. So it's a really good feeling, when you solve problems for people, and you can, see a smile on somebody's face just because, oh, they're moving into this nice house coming from where they were in devastation. It just came on me like, I need to do more of this. How can I do more of this?
You're incredible. Absolutely incredible. So, where did you grow up?
I grew up in a small town called Rome, Georgia.
Rome, Georgia. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. My my
Eh,
uh Yeah, my grandfather, we lived off the land. That's how he took care of his family. That's how he made his money. The gardens, the animals, chickens, and stuff like that. So, um, and I'm very proud of that. My grandfather, to be a me being an entrepreneur, I think it ran in the family. I mean, he had to be that. He was that because he had to be. Um, my mom was a cook. She was a great cook, well known in the city, and for her cooking. And she became a chef. And then um, she also done catering on the side. And then she sat with the elderly on the side, and she still do those things. I want so much for her to be able to retire. She works because she has to, but I want so much for her to retire, and I'm gonna do that.
I love it. Well, it takes finding some great real estate deals to
Yes,
do that, right? So
yes.
you just closed one. Let's talk about that. Let's put you in the hot seat here a little bit and find out how you just closed this deal and what you made, and we'll ring this victory bell for you and give everybody the instructions so that they can go out there and find a great opportunity. So, yeah, take it over. How did you find the deal and break it down for us?
Okay, sure. So we were getting warm leads from this company. They were doing all the cold calling, sending the warm leads to us, and getting on the phone and talking to these sellers. And within the first week, we talked to a seller who was she was a real estate investor herself. She had a portfolio that she was selling off properties, and I think she was down to maybe six. And we locked the deal up with her on that one. Negotiated with her a little bit on it, but we still was under what our max offer was. Um, so we got that one locked up, and then I'm the dispo person, so I marketed the property to like several different Facebook pages, like 10 of them in Michigan, right? And then I also put it in the Rhino community, and I put it in
Hmm.
the Sub 2 community, and I got a reply from Bill, and he always gives a reply. I love that.
He's the
And he
best.
says
Yeah.
talk to Sherry. She is everything Michigan. That's what he said.
Hmm.
And so I hooked up with Sherry. She got in contact with me right away. We got on a Zoom call. We talked about it, talked about the deal, and she helped me with the JV contract. And I think maybe 2 weeks later, she brought a buyer.
Awesome.
Yep. So we
Squad up. That's the philosophy. You got to squad up with people doing this business. You got to squad
yes.
up with people that want to see you win and participate in you win. That is awesome. So you have to pull the list of properties for these cold callers to call, or did this other company do it for you?
Yeah, they do all that. They pull the list, they have them call them, and then they also have them put it in Podio for us in our CRM, and then we go to Podio and pull from there and start making our calls.
And so as soon as this lead comes in to your Podio account or your CRM, do you call them right away? What's the process there?
Oh yeah, so my partner's the one that does most of calling. He works, so he would account set aside time every day, and he'd go in there and call for about 3 hours at a time every day for 3 hours, and then and that's what we were doing in the beginning. And then my other partner, who wasn't so much into talking, not that he had a problem with it, but he was just wasn't sure. We done a little role playing with him, and then he was able to get on the phone. So what we done was we had him call to talk to the seller and make sure they were motivated, and then let them know that our partner was going to give them a call, and then the other partner would call. So yeah, they were on the phone every day between the two of them, 2 and 3 hours every day. Um,
Awesome.
and in the beginning, we would talk. Um, like I said, I haven't done wholesaling, but because I've been around real estate, and I've been dealing with buyers, I deal with sellers, and I'm in the wholesaling, training. I could coach the guys on, these are the things, these are the things you've done good. This is how you can do better. And we went from there, and I listened to some of the calls. I think maybe the first month, and then I didn't listen to them anymore. We just have our meetings and talk about them. But they were good. They just, jumped in and made the calls. So, but yeah,
Do your partners live in Michigan?
no. So,
So you're telling me that you can do this business with a phone and a computer?
yes, yes, yes.
So you never walked this, you never went into this house.
No, no, No,
Did
never
your
seen the
partners
house.
go into this house?
No, no.
How did how did you guys? I mean, what was the condition? Did somebody take pictures of it? Did somebody do a walkthrough? What happened then?
Okay, so the seller, which is a good thing, and I'll tell you about one that didn't work in, but the seller sent us pictures of the house.
Awesome.
Yeah, she sent
Yep.
us pictures. It was a duplex. One side had a tenant, the other side she had just finished, I guess, cleaning it out and painting after a tenant. And so she sent us the pictures, and from there, I talked to her. I talked to her myself also about the condition of the house, as well as my partner, and it was in good condition. Um, and then we were able to pass that information over to our buyer, and he went out and looked at the property and liked it and said, I want it.
Awesome.
But
Yeah, Tracy mentioned the word that she is the dispo agent or the dispo manager. That means that she's selling all the purchase agreements to the investor. She's putting it out there. She's saying, "Hey, listen, here's the deal. Here's the total price for this deal. Do you want it? Yes or no?" And then combined with Sherry's uh, investor database, you guys were able to joint venture on it and get it closed, which is really, really, really exciting. From the first day that you talked to this owner of this property to the day that you got paid, how many days was that?
okay, so we locked this up on the 1st of October, and we had set a closing date of the 25th. Um, we found a buyer, I think around 15th or 16th, and this buyer told us he was a cash buyer, but came to find out he was waiting on some property to be refinanced, his personal property to be refinanced, and so he asked for it to be extended to November the 15th. So 45 days.
45 days, start to
45
finish.
days.
Awesome. What did you put the property under contract for and what did you sell it for?
Yes, good question. We had it under contract for uh, what's my calculator? Make sure I'm giving you the right numbers because I know what we made. Um,
You just know what you made. You know the final numbers. That's the most important number to know, by the way. But it's
we
exciting to show everybody the potential of this strategy. That just with one quality conversation with a property owner that has a timeline that is fast. They don't want to make any repairs to the property. They don't want to clean up the property. They just want to leave it, and they don't want to go and put it on the market and have it out into the public and the whole thing. They just want a private sale as is, cash,
Yep.
and for that we get better deals. That's just a fact, which is exciting. So
Yes. So, and I'm sorry. So we locked it up for 68.
68.
Yep. We were marketing it at 88, right? And we dropped it 2,000.
Mm-hmm.
And then the buyer didn't get the marketing where we had dropped it. So it was still, he still thought it was 88 and he wanted to negotiate, right? And
Yep.
he negotiated down to 86. We stopped at 86.
Right
And
where
so,
you were at.
yes. So we made 18 on that.
You made how much on that?
18,000. Yes.
Victory Bell. Awesome.
Yes.
18,000. Absolutely incredible. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations. How'd it feel when it closed?
It felt awesome. And you know what? Me and my partners had decided we wanted to go out to Michigan. Not to look at properties because like you said you don't have to. We never seen the properties. We wanted to go out just to build relationships, look at the neighborhoods and talk to people. And I knew some people out there just from being in different communities, so hooked up with them. We had talked to a seller on the phone that we met out there. Real nice guy. He's a contractor doing a lot of work in the neighborhood. He's a developer also, and he had properties. And we met with him, and he gave us a lot of good, information about what's happening in Detroit. When we decided that we were going to go out there, it was when our closing date was still October 25th. We decided to go out on November 15th. Well, when the buyer extended the closing date, he extended it to November 15th. So we ended up being out there on our
Huh.
closing date. Um, and of course, we didn't have to be at the closing table. But what we done was just for content, we went to the title company and picked up our check.
Awesome. Yeah,
So
that's incredible.
yeah, so
How
that was
how important is community?
oh, community is very important. Um, the reason why I've done the dispo part is because I was the one connected with the community. I could have done either position, but looking at where everybody was on the team, my guy, um, Devin, great talker. He said, "Hey, I'm going to jump in." He was ready to take action, and he did. And I said, "Okay, well, I'll probably be better over here on the dispo side because I'm connected to different communities. I'm connected to the Rhino community, the Sub 2 community, um, and to be able to reach out or just put something in Facebook and say, hey, I got a property, and somebody to respond and say, hey, I can help you, or hey, talk to that person. That is so important. It's so important, and just what you learn from that as well.
Talk to
Being
me.
around it's being around the right people, being around the people that are doing what you're doing, have some of the same goals that you have.
Yeah, it's really difficult to do this business on an island by yourself. It is.
Yep.
Be around people doing more than you, be around people that have different expertise, be around people that just have been doing it a lot longer, right? That's it's really key, and it's going to pull you ahead faster. Always
Yes.
has for me. Anytime that I want to learn something new or scale a business that I have, I always find somebody that's already done it. It's
Yes.
already out there.
Mhm.
It's already out there. Why reinvent it? Why take 3 years when I can take 3 months?
Yes.
Shortens the learning curve. It truly does.
Yes.
So Tracy, speak now to everybody out there. They've got stars in their eyes. They've got a fire in their belly. They want to be a real estate entrepreneur. They want to go and find some great deals. What advice would you give them to go out and find their first deal?
Okay, sure. Thanks for that question. So, this is advice I would give. Build your buyers list, and that means talking to people, joining the different real groups, different communities, so that you can build those that buyers list and talk to people. I like your slogan, talk to people. That's what grabbed
TTP.
my
Yep.
attention. Yes, that's what grabbed my attention when I first saw you on YouTube. And it sounds so simple, talk to people, right? But you have to do that. And really, in any kind of business that you're in sales, you have to talk to people. If you don't talk to people, you're not gonna get anything. You're not gonna get anywhere, right? So get out there, talk to people, um, and work with a team. Don't be afraid to bring somebody along with you. That has been great for me. It really has. And when you do that, make sure that everybody on that team has a position. You don't want everybody not wanting to be on the phone, or everybody wants to be on the phone. You need somebody that can get on the phone and talk to people, is not, scared to do that. You need somebody that connect to on the other end to buyers. You need somebody that can close that deal, right? And like Brent said, get a coach, get somebody that's doing what you want to do so that you can learn to do what they're doing so you can get to where you're trying to get to. Um, what else? Focus on one market. You know, um, my team had asked that, hey, should we do 2 or 3 markets? And I was like, well, no, we need to focus on one market because you have to learn that market. And when you get good at learning that market, you will be able to close deals even faster because now you can analyze those deals faster because you understand that market. You can understand what the sellers' needs are, um, and be passionate. Be there to um, help solve a problem. Right? These sellers are looking for you to solve a problem, and stay consistent. Whatever you do, stay consistent. The follow ups, the talking to people, stay consistent.
Love it. Thank you, Tracy, for being on here. Guys, we're going to put Tracy's contact information in the show notes so that you can reach out to her and tell her congratulations, or maybe you just want to connect and have a conversation and see if there's some synergy there, or maybe she's working in a market where you're looking to buy a really great deal. Make sure that you reach out to Tracy. You can click it wherever in the show notes here there is, and send some love. That always sends out good reciprocation in this business. And so reach out to Tracy and tell her congratulations and build a relationship. So Tracy, thanks for being on here. Absolutely incredible. Thank you for your incredible service to the country. And what a story. I'm excited to watch your career. I'm excited to sit there with popcorn and just watch you go into these neighborhoods and redevelop it, and with your mom cheerleading in her, alongside you in her retirement. So it's going to be awesome.
Thanks, Brett. Thanks so much for having me.
All right.
Thank
See
you.
you later, Tracy. See you.
All right. Bye-bye.
What an incredible rhino. She is part of the Wholesaling Inc. Rhino Tribe. If you're interested in joining the #1 most successful, most proactive real estate investing group in the world, go to wholesalinginc.com, wholesalinginc.com. Apply for the mentorship. You're going to get on a call with our team. It's going to be the best call of your year. If it feels good in your gut, set up that call today. That's our show. I love you guys. Until next time, go out there and talk to people. See you later.